The Forces Children's Trust is celebrating a huge donation of cash tonight. The charity, which supports bereaved armed forces children, found out today how big the donation is. Well, our welfare correspondent Sue Kinnear is here. Fantastic news for them, Sue. How much is it?
It is nearly £1 million, which is a huge amount of money, especially for a charity that's currently being run by one man in his spare room. Now, the money's been given by News International, who, as you know, have dominated the headlines with the News of the World phone hacking scandal. And the Forces Children's Trust are one of 3 charities to accept this grant. Others have turned it down. But the founder of the FCT, Denny Wise, won't be drawn on the controversy surrounding the media giant. He simply wants to concentrate on the good this money can do for bereaved military children. And recently he invited Forces News along to one of their events, teaching, would you believe, children to fly light aircraft.
It was the highlight of today. Having control over the plane and flying it, it was so fun. Absolutely wicked.
Excellent. It's a brilliant experience. It's easier than it looks and sounds.
He flied it, but I looked out the window.
They're never going to forget Dad's not coming home, but just for a day they're taken out of themselves.
It's easy to contact co-pilot.
There was even fun to be had at Cranfield airfield in Bedfordshire while they were waiting for their turn to fly. And it's not just the children who benefit. Tony O'Donnell lost her husband 2.5 years ago. WO2 Gary O'Donnell was one of the most decorated officers to be killed in Afghanistan. He'd been awarded 2 George medals.
These kids just lovely to get together, and at the end of the day, happy kids, happy mums. To be able to come together and enjoy themselves and talk if they want and not talk, it's so nice for them, and they feel so relaxed all together.
After losing my husband, one of the hardest things we've all noticed as a family is that we've lost our family rather than friends, and this gives us back a really nice support group and friends that are in a similar situation, and just like-minded people that we all get on really well.
Please feel really at home here.
This is a positive. This is a chance for the children to have fun and not be different, and not for people to look at you and think, well, where are all the men or the fathers? Just something for them to be children.
Have you been on the airplane?
It's typical of the events Denny Wise, the chairman of the Forces Children's Trust, has been organising for nearly 8 years. He's helped children who've lost a parent in the armed forces with theatre trips, experience days and holidays. This flying day cost the charity more than £2,000 after Freedom in the Air came up with the idea.
If their daddy never comes back, then that's a great loss to them. And of course they don't get together with other children who feel exactly the same. They realise that there's a bond between them because they realise that they're not alone in their grief.
These days are about giving people the chance to imagine what they could do, but also just for me to know that these kids had a reason to get out of bed today.
And it was certainly appreciated.
A little bit better, because all of the things that Denny does for us is just astonishing. Denny's one of the few people in the world that know what we're going through.
Well, a great example of some of the work that they do. What are they going to spend the cash on?
Well, not surprisingly, a trip to a Disney theme park is in the pipeline, and Denny's got lots of ideas for all sorts of other events. But this amount of money, nearly £1 million, it's going to bring a lot more work, and there might be a little bit of reorganisation involved. But if you want to find out more about the Forces Children's Trust, then you can get to it via our website. It should be on the screen now, bfbs.com/news.
Brilliant. Sue, thank you very much indeed, as ever.